Three, two.
What's up, fools?
What's up, YouTube?
What's up, YouTube? Well, hello there. Are we beginning right away, or are we saying what's up to YouTube first? What's up, YouTube?
We already said what's up, YouTube.
Are you ready? Should we dive right in?
Let's dive in. I'm tweeting it out.
Tweet it out. Tweet it out, son. Tweet, tweet, tweet it. Tweet, tweet, tweet it. Well, hello, folks, and welcome to We the Peeps. This is the American Soccer Podcast, in which you're going to get to know everything that you need to know about the USMNT.
Everything that you need to know.
No, I am Clayton, and I'm a rapper or an artist or whatever, however I identify this week.
I'm Ty. I'm an entrepreneur.
And the We Loaded Nats. Gotta win, baby. Nations League. It used to be friendlies. Now we count it.
Totally not a friendly.
Totally not a friendly. Insert here.
During the insert, hey, Cameron Corwin. Hey, you're in the middle of the podcast that people don't hear on the podcast. And thank you for mentioning the whiskey.
This is the secret part.
I'm being healthy today, so I just had a tall glass of almond milk. But I hope you have a tall glass of whiskey.
Indeed, and I have an empty cup of sushi rice bowl. So very thirst quenching there.
All right, on with the podcast.
On with
That's
the pod.
YouTube only content.
YouTube only content.
Yes.
Insert. Oh, the game was USA versus Honduras. It was a Nations League battle to the death. It was a Nations League battle to the friendly handshake at the end, which the US would ultimately walk away from victorious. Although it didn't feel that way most of this game.
Victorious-ish.
Victorious? I tell you what, we the viewers were definitely victorious today. Before we get into all that, we've got some housekeeping. Of course, as always, follow us on Twitter at WTPPod. Find us on the Patreon at patreon.com/WTPPod. Today, we have a new Patreon subscriber named Daniel Bradford. Thank you so much to you, Daniel.
Thank you,
Didn't write a whole lot of anything for us to read on the show, but had to give you a shout out. Thank you, Daniel. And shouts to Cameron as well, who has joined us on today's live YouTube stream as we record. We are here. You guys can hit us up on YouTube too. Find us there. There's Kant, sweet Kant. Okay, and
Kant for days.
Kant for days.
YouTube Conte.
YouTube Conte, Ballon d'Or, please. And other housekeeping, folks. Let's get right into it. Oh, scheisse. I have to pull up a lineup here.
Need the lineup.
Pause. Let's see. I could do it from memory, but I'm just not. This is that sweet YouTube exclusive content, baby. Where
Behind
is
the
this?
scenes.
Behind the scenes.
Raw.
It's so raw. What the fuck? USMNT lineup. All right, whatever. This is not in fucking order.
You're good. You're good. You'll remember it.
Yeah, all right. Anyways. All right. Unpause. Folks, the game was USMNT versus Honduras. And there's no better way to get this going than to line them up. Lining them up.
Get out there, boys.
Get out there, boys. Get out there for some competition. Some real competition versus nations. We're not friendly no mas. Let's do this thing. Both gloves. How many gloves, Ty? How many gloves are there?
5 or 6 minimum.
5 or 6 minimum, as many as there should have been stoppage time minutes. 5 gloves, 6 gloves, 7 gloves, 8 gloves to Zach Steffen, of course. The greatest goalkeeper in the world, Zach Steffen. Center backs, we're going to have a John Brooks. He plays for Man City. Center backs, we're going to have John Brooks and Mark McKenzie. Don't forget him. You know him. You love him. It's your boy. Philly, welcome. Philly. What's up, though? We're going to have Serginho Dest on the right back. Thank you very much. And Anthony Robinson in the left, all the way from Fulham. Let's go. On the left back. Thank you very much. In center midfield, we are going to have the oat milk, the odious of all, the easiest, the easy swimming, still waters over here, Jackson Ewell. Come right on in past Jackson Ewell, whenever you like. It's up to you. We're also going to have Weston McKinney. The West is yet to come, Manifest Westony. And Sebastian Leggett, too legit, too quet, Sebastian Leggett. We just can't quet you.
Too legit to quet.
We just cannot quet you.
We cannot quet. We didn't quet, and we should have quet.
Maybe we should have quet a little bit earlier. We're going to have Christian Pulisic, the Porcelain Prince. He's here with us, all 10, Christian Pulisic. Let's go. Gio Reyna, created in a laboratory, teenage Gio Reyna, mutant Ninja Turtle. And in striker, the lukewarm Josh Sargent. Folks, this game would start out with a decent U.S. set of chances. It looked very doable at the outset. We'd get to see a Dest chance, a Gio Reyna chance, a Pulisic chance, and all that, but none of them would go in. And then, as if Josh Sargent couldn't be less scory, he would find a way to the highlight reel by preventing a goal with his head, fantastic, and then missing a chance on the other side with his head as well. Not to mention that throughout this first half, there was at some point a Zach Steffen scary moment, which you're guaranteed to get one
a game.
One per game. It happens every game. We would cruise into halftime 0-0. And folks, did I forget to mention, did I bury the lead? It is the Deuce himself in the broadcast booth. The Deuce is in the booth, and he's got the sunglasses, which are giving him youth. You can't stop the Deuce. You just can't stop this guy. He's back, and I couldn't get enough of it in the pregame and in the halftime. We'd come back into the second half, and it would be a very different story. Ty has just whipped on his sunglasses.
I forgot.
Like the Deuce.
Just like the pros, baby.
Just like the pros. Deuce knows how to does it. And he's actually got some really good things to say. So shouts to the Deuce. WCP
substantially better at broadcasting than Landon Donovan.
Absolutely.
Which is shocking to me.
We solved that one. We solved that. That's not a tie. There are other things that are a tie. But that is not a tie. Lovely to see the Deuce. Peep nomination to Clint Dempsey for his debut. Instant Peep nominee. Debut in the booth. Folks, the second half would start out with what I'm going to say is a parade of stretchers. A parade, one after the other.
What's the plural on that? It's like it's murder of crows.
Stretch eye. It was the stretch eye. What did the science fiction writer's name?
It's a catracho of stretchers.
It's a peloton of stretchers, just on and off the field.
Conveyor belt.
Which would also include a few Honduras chances once again. We would survive, however, this onslaught of oddities, these one injury after another. And Josh Sargent would leave the field looking very ineffective for one. Pafak is going on. Jordan Siebachu, my guy, Siebacha, if you want to pronounce it correctly. Siebacha. Cannon as well. The soccer player formerly known as Reggie Cannon. Aronson And of course, Kellen Acosta would come on. So we're talking about some weapons in the 80th minute. Like right Helen back. Acosta.
Left back.
Coming on, the reinforcements are here. Folks, it wasn't looking good. I was nervous. I was sweating. I was watching this game with 2 new fans, and it was not entertaining, and it did not look like it was going to end well, because did I forget to mention, this goes straight to PKs if it's tied at 90 minutes, which we do in what tournaments now? That's a thing. So Honduras did their best, but nevertheless, Jordan Sibachu would find the net from a very nice little interplay with Weston McKennie, and I believe it was Sebastian Lletget who had the chip.
Brooks with the chip.
It was Brooks with the chip. Yes. It was Brooks with the chip.
Mamma mia.
Mamma mia. It's a Brooks with the chip. Ty, fantastic. We got away with the win, but it didn't look that great. What were your first impressions?
We are used to seeing the U.S. team win scrappy games and saying it wasn't pretty, but the US got the job done. And tonight, at times, it actually was pretty. The US clearly has a new identity and a new style of play and lots of good things going on, but just couldn't make things click enough to accumulate a substantial advantage and find that breakthrough early on in the game. And when you play against these strong CONCACAF opponents, the longer you get into that first half without the breakthrough, the more they get into CONCACAFing mode. And this team sucks at beating CONCACAFing mode. So this is a pattern of game that we're going to see several times over the course of the next year as the team goes into qualifying. And they're going to have to figure out how to break down these defenses while not leaving their own goal exposed. And so I have one principal piece of blame to assign, which is Greg Berhalter for not bringing a midfield to this game. So you had over and over, you had the US in kind of 2 groups, a split team. You had guys on D, you had a bunch of guys trying to make runs, and over the US lost possession trying to transfer the ball between those 2 parts of the team. And you had Christian Pulisic dropping deep to like the 6 so that he could get the ball and try to beat guys in the middle. And that should never be happening. So I have no idea why Sebastian Lletget and Weston McKennie were not interchanging better with the back line, but that weakness showed over and over again as the team was trying to build and create rhythm. And because we never created that rhythm, we consistently left openings for Honduras to continue to be threatening and keep our defenders pinned back.
So tell me about some of those good moments. Why don't we start there? Because a lot of those came in the first half. And I think you're right that if you're a new fan or a neutral fan watching this game, you may have missed it. You may have missed some of the things that were happening here that were really actually exciting and good signs. So Ty, tell me about some of those.
So I'll highlight one in particular, which was the Gio Reyna chance in the 7th or 8th minute, where he receives the ball kind of at the corner of the box and he just sidesteps 2 defenders in quick succession and is able to get a quick shot off. And what it reminded me of a lot, it wasn't exactly the same, but it reminded me of the goal that a certain Clint Dempsey scored against Ghana in the first match of the 2014 World Cup. Just some quick footwork in the box and then that shot across the goalkeeper to try to kind of sneak a goal out of nothing. And Gio almost pulled it off. He was within a foot of pulling it off. And the complexion of the game, everything completely changes if that goal goes in. So I think we have to maintain perspective, because if that goal goes in, or a couple of the other early chances that the US had, we would be having a much different conversation. I think Honduras would have had a lot more trouble sticking to their game plan, and it might have fallen apart a little bit. But because those early chances didn't go in, that accumulated, that gave Honduras the opportunity to do what they do best, which is waste time and stymie the US and try to pick a goal on the counter, but overall just try to get to penalties. And it almost worked. They were within 5 minutes of getting that.
It truly almost worked. I don't think we can, I I don't think we can undersell that. It really almost didn't work. We might have been out of this thing.
We could be out of this thing
Today.
absolutely. But this also could have totally been a 3-0 or 4-0 match for the US.
Yes.
So that gets lost a little bit in the rage, the YouTube rage that we have, and the Twitter
you
rage,
you mentioned Reyna's first half. He came to ball, and this is the first time I've seen him in a US jersey kind of defend the hype. There was a 30-minute stretch there where he was
quite good.
Yeah, he was
and you could tell because of how he started getting scythed down by the Honduran players. So
yeah,
he definitely earned his starting spot today. And those chances, I mean, I think you can put some blame on players for not finishing, like maybe, the chance that Sargent had. Oh, the one that Weston had, that one I was scratching my head about, because Weston,
he had a header.
It was just off a corner, simple corner, where he somehow ends up in 5 acres, like 5 yards all around him of space.
5 acres
in the box. 5 acres
space.
would have been. But even if he had 5 acres, he would have missed. Like, this was like a training ground header that somehow Weston McKennie, who's one of the better headers of the ball on the team, failed to convert. So, any of those chances go in, I think we're looking at a much different game. But you have to credit Honduras for hanging in there and executing their game plan. I thought some of their attackers actually looked pretty solid. And
at least
on the counter.
The Elise versus Dest battle was concerning throughout.
Yeah, and the other Lozano, not
the other,
Lozano,
not
but
that
Choco Lozano,
not that Lozano, a different Lozano.
He was very solid, and they created a number of good opportunities. I forget if the one where they basically had like 2-on-1, if that ended up being offside or not, but that was a really good opening. So I thought they easily could have put one away as well. You mentioned the moment with Stefan where everybody's heart jumps in their throat because
Stefan's 40 yards
doing
out.
His thing
He's
again,
2 acres away from the goal.
Yeah, and for some reason Josh Sargent is the one to head the ball away from the goal. So that was really bizarre. And you have to, in a game where our problem is putting away chances, you have to sort of concentrate some amount of responsibility onto the 9. And I think going into this game, Josh has had so many different chances to establish himself as that first choice striker, and he's just never taken those opportunities. And this game, Josh didn't perform for 80 minutes, and Sivichu comes in for 10 minutes and finds a way to get a goal. So I can't see Sargent starting in the final on Sunday, and you have to say that's deserved. I think he's had his chance to get that spot, and now it's someone else's turn to have a try.
I say it's deserved as well. Sibichu, let's see it. I would love to see DK, but I won't. Ty, you mentioned some Berhalter. I mean, should we talk about the Josh thing more, or can we let that one? Can we put that one to bed? I mean, he shouldn't start the next.
So
game.
Disappointing. Yeah. That's we can put it to bed. It's just so sad. He's almost there. He's almost there, but he's just consistently like doing a lot of like the little things and not enough of the big things.
Yeah. He has little thing-itis. He's like, I'm helping out on D. I'm doing all the other stuff.
Like, okay, Josh, I'm happy that you cleared that ball off the line, but why don't you instead stand on the center circle during that play? Like, seriously, why is your instinct not to just be like, fuck this? Like, you deal with the corner.
Yeah. I'm
waiting for the ball to turn over. Yeah, my job is to score goals. Like, he just doesn't have that mentality.
Deuce said it on the broadcast, man. After the game, Deuce said it. Texas, man. He was like he just needs to be farther up. And Deuce sounded very forgiving when he said it, but I am less so.
He knows what he's talking about.
Back with the fucking sunglasses.
He knows what he's talking about.
So Josh Sargent shouldn't start. You mentioned concern about the Berhalter thing, and I think now is a good time to talk about it because I am losing some confidence. I think I thought what we were seeing versus Switzerland was more of a giving people minutes situation than it was. Like the Kellen Acosta consistent inclusion is a little baffling to me. And I mean, the Jackson Ewell thing, we've joked about it enough, but it's a really bad situation. He's not good enough to play there.
Yes. Yeah. It's, you've mentioned in the past the coach's weirdsies.
Yes, the coach's little weirdsies, and we're starting to
Every
see
coach
those.
has their little
You could
weirdsies.
argue Reggie Cannon is a weirdsie for him as well.
It's a borderline weirdsie. I mean, it's
but
like I
I'm
don't have
good
any
with the-
problems with Reggie Cannon.
Yeah, yeah.
He doesn't underperform like Ewell does. I mean, Ewell clearly is not good enough, right? And the thing
Is that clear though? I mean,
it's clear to me. It's clear to me, but a lot of
Ewell
things have
is
been clear to
starting
me
in a
with this
final,
team.
bro.
Like,
Was
yeah,
Yunus Musa just on the bench? Am I taking crazy pills?
apparently Yunus Musa was just on the bench. Everybody was trying to figure out what the hell happened with that. How he goes. By the way, also, if we had lost this game, he would not be cap tied because he just had to play in this game to be cap tied.
I thought he was cap tied.
He apparently was not. Apparently that whole friendly thing, that's not real. He had to actually play in a competitive match and he hadn't yet.
And he didn't?
And he didn't.
I'm barfing in my mouth right now.
Okay. So there's very little that the coach can do during the game, right? So the coach is responsible for getting the team ready and having a concept and whiteboards and those little those magnet things. Got to have those.
The magnet things.
But one thing that the coach can do is make substitutions. And the hallmark of the Greg Berhalter era has been bizarre substitutions.
Yeah.
So I was getting flashbacks to the nadir of our Berhalter support, which was that stretch 2 years ago where they went into the Gold Cup with a loss to Jamaica and another embarrassing loss. And then they made it, snuck into the final of the Gold Cup and lost to Mexico in that final. And we were like, fuck this. Not like, this isn't worth it. Team looked terrible. And the thing that I'll always remember about that final against Mexico is that we were down 1-0. Mexico scored, I think, early in the second half. Greg waits and waits and waits. 70th minute, the big sub comes on, and it's Daniel Lovitz, the Montreal Impact left back, on to change the game. And so I started to get freaky flashbacks during this game when I hear that the first guy up is Reggie Cannon. I'm like, wait, you can't be serious. You can't think that's the problem with this. And also, the team has been playing badly. It's like the team, you got to give it to him for starting, a good 11, because they played quite well for 30 minutes. But from the 30th through the 75th minute, they were bad.
They were bad.
And they were playing at altitude. And you have 5 subs and there's no extra time. So you have to start making changes. You have to start. The other thing is Honduras is going to waste more and more time as you go.
So you have less
if you
and
save
less
your subs
of
for
it.
less for later, right? You have less time with the subs and you're killing your own clock when you make the subs. So you should make your subs when Honduras is making their subs.
I like it. I like it. That came around to a very practical and tactical and applicable tip.
Practical, tactical,
It
and
slices.
actionable.
It slices. It dices.
Slices. So, Greggy B, bro, you have to change
Dog.
when things are not
Dog.
working like that. How can you go
Halftime subs.
75
Dog.
minutes
Dog.
watching that
Halftime
game
subs.
and change nothing? It's ridiculous. And when it comes time to change,
And I'm
things,
sorry, but what the fuck with the Yunus Musa situation? Is this man going to be in that or no?
it's mysterious because, as I said, the glaring issue with the game was that the US midfield was anonymous throughout the first half.
And that's what he does. That's what Yunus Musa does all day.
That's what Yunus Musa does. And, Tyler Adams, we were hoping would see the field. He was apparently so eager to see the field that he managed to get a yellow
by trying to enter
the field of play. And, maybe he just wasn't fit enough, but I thought if you're going to have him here and he's intended to be a part of this team for the next match, you got to get him some minutes in this game to see how he feels. You can't just trot him out against Mexico in the final and hope that his back's okay. So I thought, lots of just weird shit. And it's stuff where, is there a real justification, or is it just a weirdsie? Because we watch a lot of coaches and most coaches don't do this. So is this some crazy tactic? I don't think so. I think it's
No,
just
I
a
think
mistake.
I honestly think a lot of coaches do this. It's just like an old school way of subbing. Like it,
Maybe,
and
maybe.
it blows
Yeah.
my mind that it still sticks. But the idea that you should make your first sub in the 80th minute, even with extra time and only 3 subs, that already doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it's right. We were already like pre 5 subs, back
Now
in
that there's 5 subs, I'm
the dark
10, 15
ages.
minutes in. I'm like, oh man, we're switching it up. Switching it up.
Switch it
We're
up,
switching
baby.
it up. We're
So,
switching it
okay,
up.
and maybe this is a good time for me to reintroduce one of my half-baked ideas, one of my proposals.
Wonderful. Please do. Please
which
do.
is the super starter. So you have a player like Tyler Adams, or the origin of this idea was Clint Dempsey.
Yes.
So you have
Clint
like
Dempsey.
an aging player, or you have a player with an injury who's touch and go. And generally the mentality is, okay, we'll see if we can bring them on as a substitute because they can't start. And the trouble with that is that then you don't get to control how long they play. When you put them in the 60th minute, you're guaranteeing that they're going to play 33, 34 minutes.
Yeah.
Whereas if
as
you
opposed
start
to
them,
being able to react to the game state.
react to the game state and react to their body, like that, how they're feeling. So that means that if Dempsey in that scenario actually felt fine and could have gone 45, you wasted 10 minutes of Dempsey. Or if Dempsey feels terrible and can only go 25, then you have 10 minutes of an ineffective player.
Yeah.
So if you
and
start
potentially an injury, a re-injure situation.
or potentially a re-injury. So if you start a Tyler Adams in this game and you say, like, press conference before the game, we're going to start Tyler Adams and we're not sure how long he's going to play. He'll probably come out in the first half, like, no embarrassment, whatever. He's rebuilding his fitness. He's probably going to come out in the first half. He's just going to do the thing when he feels ready to come out.
Yeah.
And what that does is
do this, the finger thing, the finger
the universal sign for substitution. What that does is it gives
Which, by the way, the Honduran players were somehow able to make that sign and then not be subbed, leave the game for minutes at a time, come back later.
Exactly.
Anyways, sorry, that was it.
Honduran finger trap. So what this does is, first of all, you get to play the player for exactly the amount of minutes that they can actually perform.
Yeah.
Second of all, you get your best players on the field to start the game, so you have a better chance of starting the game well.
Yeah.
So just another idea for you.
Just throw it out there. Just throwing it out there. You can go back in the logs for my Pirate Federation idea if you'd like as well. Like, watch your fucking back, bro.
Cindy Cone, you watch your back.
So where are we going with all this, Ty? We won this game. We did win this game.
Yes, by the way, we did win this game. We did. So that means
there's other games,
but we did win this game. So there's a final. Well, why don't we just give Sibachu a little bit of love. Give
Sibachu a little love here. Well, he came in, did nice. He looks good. He's got some movement to him. We've barely seen any minutes of the man in the US jersey, so we're just trusting Greg's, whatever, wise scout footage.
Yeah, exactly. Greg's wise scout. Yes, indeed. So yeah, we hadn't seen much at all of Mr. Sibachu, only spotty, friendly minutes. And he looked fine in those matches. I don't think this was like an incredible goal or anything. I mean, he's a 9. He's kind of standing near the penalty spot, and the ball comes to him, and he heads it home. So it's not, my perception of Sibachu didn't change necessarily because he scored this goal. But you have to say he did better than Sargent, given many fewer minutes. So he did still contribute on D. Came in and was a presence and brought some energy, and then found a way to put the ball away. Weston got it together to deliver the assist in classic Weston style, with the strong positioning, intelligent movement off the ball, and then a great header. And Brooks had some shaky moments.
Brooks is looking great, man.
Was insanely good, and he is such a weapon in this system where we're trying to bypass the first row of defense and get the ball to the 8s, who apparently were nowhere to be found in this game. But in general, that's a perfect pattern of play, is for one of the 2 8s to be dropping back in midfield, and then for Brooks to make that longer 20-yard pass straight to them so that they can kickstart an attack. or for one of the wingers to come in and then for Brooks to make that pass. So Brooks is so important, not just as a defender, but also as a part of the attack. So I think he's probably the most important piece of this team right now. We have all these buzzy young, ballers, but if you don't have that rock, everything kind of falls apart. Maybe Tyler Adams is more important as well, but those two, I'll give.
We can't even count Tyler Adams yet because of all the injuries. But
yeah, we just
keep in mind, we've often felt that way about Brooks, and we got some Brooks today. So let's take a moment to appreciate that, because how many times have we said like, oh well, if Brooks was here, he'd obviously be the starter.
Right. And he's been healthy for 2 years. So hopefully it just,
knocking on all the wood, and etc. But it was wonderful to see him
knock on Mike.
do his ballin' ass thing out there. He was doing it. And Mark McKenzie, not a terrible showing either. I like what I saw from him on the ball.
Yeah. So McKenzie, for especially newer fans, we haven't had too much of a chance to see him. And I was thinking in this game, it's kind of a big spot to put someone in for their first.
Yeah, it is. So what maybe don't people know about McKenzie, and how did you think he did?
Exactly. So what people don't know is that he was the sort of de facto captain of that U20 team that went so far in the U20 World Cup a couple of years ago, though he was injured. So kind of played spottedly. But he's a guy who is renowned for his leadership qualities. He's renowned for his poise. He's played really well in MLS. He's made the jump over to Europe. He's in Belgium now, and he's been doing really well. So he's a player who can handle being thrust into that kind of situation. So initially I was kind of nervous about it, but when I thought about Mark McKenzie's character and his experience, I think he would have not been fazed by the moment and proved not to be. So he was definitely solid. I mean, I didn't see anything super special, but I especially liked, him playing next to Dest, where those two obviously have a relationship from the youth teams, and they can complement each other and kind of understand each other's patterns. And so, yeah, I think totally solid, seems like a great option. And when we lost Aaron Long to an injury, but still have plenty of good options for the center back alongside John Brooks. That's a good sign. I think that is not a center back is not an area of concern, particularly for the Nats right now.
Yeah, we're doing all right there. Mark McKenzie, good showing. It was fun to see Brendan Aronson too, and just to think about not only the under 20 connection with Dest and McKenzie, but also the Philadelphia connection with Aronson and McKenzie.
That's right. Shouts to Philly.
Shouts to Philly, doing this thing, doing the damn thing.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to bring it down, but this Yunus Musa situation is killing me. I'm trying to talk about other things in the game, but do you actually know that Yunus Musa is not a confirmed cap-tied player right now? I feel like that changes
Yunus Musa is not cap-tied.
I feel like this changes my plans for 2021.
So Yunus Musa better get on the field in this final.
Yeah, we hope so.
And Greg I believe only used 4 of the subs, because he made the triple sub and then he put on Miazga for 2 minutes.
For God knows why. For something he did in training. So we didn't get to see the best from Pulisic today, and part of that is because of what you were talking about, the separation to the midfield. But what would have made the difference in terms of unlocking Pulisic's involvement in the game? How do we get Pulisic more involved?
So I saw people say this, and I was a little confused by that, because I feel like I saw, while Pulisic wasn't touching the ball too frequently, when he was on the ball, he was making things happen. And I think the big thing that hurt him was just that he was being depended on to carry the team and create entire plays by himself. So the game plan in the first half seemed to be kind of get the ball to Pulisic, get the ball to Reyna, get the ball to John Brooks, and then just kind of, static. And so I thought that Pulisic needed a little bit more help in order to finish off some of those moves. But to give him a little bit of blame for what happened, I think he consistently has an issue where he just doesn't release the ball fast enough. He'll make a great move and get around a guy, but he'll just try to go for another and go for another and go for another. And
By the way,
sometimes he
that's
just
a
needs to
Nats.
take that like 8 out of 10 instead of
Yeah.
going for gold, you know?
Yeah. By the way, that's a Nats specific trait for him. I think being the star changes the way that he plays.
Being the star totally changes the way he plays, absolutely, and definitely is a factor. Yes, I think he still did that for Dortmund, and he still does that for Chelsea, and it frustrates me, but it's not as frequent. You know,
Yeah.
I think he would get more shit if he did that more often. So that's the area of his game that he needs to improve. You know, he's one of the best one-on-one dribblers in the world, period. But he loses the ball too much. So
yeah,
that's a big problem for the US.
So we're probably playing Mexico, right? That's the deal. It's like a weekend Costa Rica. Do we know by now?
We don't know if it would be a shock if Costa Rica were able to beat Mexico, but you know, very possible. So we'll see.
So let's talk a little bit about Mexico.
One way or another, it'll be a strong final.
It's going to be a strong final. We need to see more from this team. It needs to gel, and I'm not really sure what it's going to take. That's kind of what I was getting at with the Pulisic question of how do we unlock Pulisic, is like, I see the individual moments that you're talking about, but what I'm not seeing is like the team chemistry, I guess, or like the interchange, the automatism, if you will.
I love it.
Yes.
So okay, maybe a quick aside. So
yeah,
maybe explain that concept, where we got that concept, and then I have a question about it.
Okay, so from what I know, we got the concept from Der Germany, and it is the thing that sets in for a team when you're sort of no longer thinking about what to do, but you're just like doing as one. I believe that's my colloquial understanding of the concept. So
absolutely,
the unspoken understanding, the thoughtless understanding that a team can acquire in the, you know, at their greatest.
Yes, and I don't think Tuchel came up with this concept, but this concept definitely came to me during the Tuchel era at Dortmund as something that he often cited as something he was shooting for. And so what I am curious about is how Thomas Tuchel created that so quickly at Chelsea.
It's incredible.
And how we can do that. How Greg Berhalter can do that. Is there like a manual somewhere?
How do we do that? Because that's what we need, which is great, because the individual moments are there and the talent is there. But if we don't get some of that automatisms, if we don't become more than the sum of our parts quickly, at least equal to the sum of our parts quickly,
at least
we're going to be in some serious doo-doo, because the shit is getting real for this team.
It looked like analogously to the split team, it looked like in attack, it was kind of 5 singular attackers as opposed to one attacking unit much of the time, you know? So how, I mean, just from your experience playing, how have you developed those kind of relationships? Do you think that's something that, like, do you think there's an impediment to that going on with the team right now? Like, why is that not happening? These guys have had a lot of time together.
Yeah, I would. So what I know about creating that is like things like the rondo in training are very helpful. So there's like a circle with 3 defenders in the middle that is popularized by Pep, and apparently his rondos are mad intense, and that's the kind of thing that creates this like group mind, understanding patterns. So, you know, Pep's Barcelona was able to achieve this with like a lot of triangles, and like understanding that in offense you never stand in a straight line together, you know, you create all these like diagonals in between the lines. And what I would guess is that there's a lot of time involved in creating that experience. And though some of these players have played together at a youth team, or you know, there is some experience between some of these players, but there's not a lot of experience between all of these players playing together. And I just don't think it's easy to accomplish in a short amount of time, which is what Greg Berhalter has. So I'm concerned, to be honest. I don't see it happening now, and I don't see it happening in September either for World Cup qualifying, like from what I'm seeing.
Right. Well, one thing, I mean, maybe one thing that we could focus on that would be productive in like a short amount of time is the pairings. or the triangles between
which I
some of the
see,
players who
right?
play
Yeah,
together
yeah.
frequently, right?
Which I see happening with Dest and Pulisic. Berhalter has made a
Right.
very intentional effort to see them working together and understand
Yes.
that and get them
Yes.
comfortable with that. And that shows. And Dest coming in through the middle, which we saw in the second half, does make a big difference. So although Reggie Cannon was the announced sub, and that felt like a deflated, balloon after a child's birthday party, what that really was Dest going up into central midfield to be more of a force from the left side.
Yeah. And yeah, I think hopefully those kind of start to click. And what occurs to me, like going back to what we said about Sargent, is like, who's that for Sargent? Who is it that plays particularly
The problem
well with
is that
Sargent and
Sargent
combines with
is
him?
only thinking about doing that for others. That's the problem. Sargent
Yeah.
does that for others, but doesn't know how to demand it for himself. And
Would
maybe that's a product of playing him up in age. I mean, we've been playing this dude with people older than him for his entire life, and he looks like he got a little too used to being like the young upstart, supportive type.
Yeah, he need right. We talked last episode about Gio getting more alpha,
Yeah.
and maybe Sargent needs to get more alpha.
Yeah. I don't
Fuck
see it
this.
happening.
Gotta find a
Have you
goal.
ever-
Yeah, I
have
don't
you-
see it happening
I don't
either.
see
He
it
doesn't
happening.
seem like that personality. So, but it makes me think maybe coach of the year Florian Kofeld was onto something when he had Sargent playing in a more withdrawn role. Well, it
I
was
think he should.
frustrating to watch.
I 100% think he should be in a withdrawn role with an actual striker on the field. I would be fine with
with
Sargent
a wrecking
Sibachu.
ball striker.
I mean, we all know we want DK, but we can set that to the side for a sec. But yeah, I would be fine with Sibachu and Sargent on the field at the same time for that reason.
Yeah.
Even more fine with Weah and Sargent.
I'm interested.
Is Weah not there?
Weah's there.
What the fuck is going on?
I know.
What is this fucking bullshit?
I don't know. It's like, what do you do in FIFA? I mean, is it too simple, honestly, to say that? Like, it's FIFA. Your guys are tired. You're behind by a goal. You put on fresh attackers. That's what you do to win. Are we missing something? Okay.
Also, Tim Weah won the French league, the actual French league. How is this dude not like
doing that the whole season? That was his whole thing.
That was
coming on late.
But no, Sargent is the one we should have on the field anyways.
A man who just got relegated.
One more thing I would add in terms of just solving the problem quickly is, and this is a realistic hope because Greg has been showing signs that he also feels this way. Brendan Aronson is a solution to the problem. And
Brendan Aronson's a piece.
He is a connector. He's a threat. He ups the tempo. Let's get some more Brendan Aronson minutes. That'll make it look better. I'll trade you the Tim Weah minutes for the Aronson minutes. I'm willing to compromise.
What I'm afraid of is that these guys are all just a little too similar. It's a lot of high touch. It's a lot of quick feet. And we don't have enough different dimension to our attacking pool that it can destabilize or we can make like a substantial tactical shift.
Let's put Sargent at the 6. He's mad good at stopping goals.
Sargent at the 6 I mean,
let's do this thing.
Moving him back.
Keep moving him back.
Two
Sargent
gloves.
at the 6.
Two gloves.
Both gloves. All right. This whole thing is hopefully leading to a sick ass game versus Mexico. Ty, what can we expect? What Mexico are we facing?
So I will reverse jinx Mexico by saying we will definitely be facing them in the final on Sunday. The game is tonight as we record. Tonight, tomorrow? Is that, wait, I'm misreading this.
The game exists in time and
YouTube
space.
content.
Sick ass YouTube.
What am I missing here? Today, 10 p.m. Sorry, YouTube. I know this is thrilling.
How we doing?
So yeah, everywhere says the game is tonight. tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. It is tonight at 10:30, but I don't see any scores
Game
or anything.
occurring.
What am I missing?
All right. Well, anyways.
What's going on? Okay. Anyway.
A semifinal will occur, out of which we expect Mexico to advance.
We expect Mexico to advance, and so that sets up yet another epic USA Mexico. The last one of consequence was the Gold Cup final, in which that I
we
mentioned
lost
earlier.
which we lost.
Somehow, even though Daniel Lovitz came on in the 70th minute, somehow we managed not to score and get back into that game. And so that left a bitter taste in my mouth. And this is Greg's third match against Mexico. I think he's 0-2. So if you can't beat Mexico as the US coach,
what are you doing?
You're not cutting it. You're not cutting it. You gotta go, bro.
You gotta go, brah. So this is
how
realistic is that?
Pressure for Greggy B.
Is there any way that this is Greggy B's last game for the Nats?
I don't believe there's any way this is Greggy B's last game for the Nats, even if we get crushed, because I think the culture of US soccer allows failure. I think we're too accustomed to failure. So I think it would just be too inconvenient to fire Greggy B after
There's a lot of paperwork
getting to another final.
Wow, that is a lot of paperwork. I think we're gonna give this one another go round. Let's just give this one another go round.
Exactly.
He's gonna get it right. He's gonna get it right.
Now here's the thing with the US-Mexico rivalry. Typically, the game that plays out is that Mexico dominates possession. They play a lot of combinations. They play short passes. They dance around the US. The US tries to frustrate Mexico and present a strong defense, strong in the air. We try to find moments to counterattack and get Mexico on the back foot. And Mexico's bad at in transition, against some of our counters. That pattern seems unlikely to continue. Can you?
Why is that?
It's hard for me to imagine this US team, not at least being competitive for possession with Mexico. Just when you look at the pedigree of the players and the level that these players are at,
that is not difficult for me to imagine.
Okay.
From what I saw tonight, I am not confident that we're going to see a US be able to string together a lot of possession, because we just saw a lot of dribbling. It wasn't a very passy game from us.
It was not a very passy game. That is true. So we did, numerically, we probably had 70% possession or something like that. But you're saying it wasn't like we were controlling the game.
Right. I'm saying it could still look that way very much. I think we could definitely be on the back foot and be sort of like counterattacking with speed, Pulisic with speed.
Oh God.
100%. 100%. I wouldn't have said that in the Rastapod, but after seeing these these two games, come on, man.
Yeah, I gotcha. What was our possession against Switzerland? Do you remember?
I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Look that shit up
in the pod.
Look that shit right up, dog. Look that shit right up. But it's not possession percentage that I'm as worried about, I guess.
45%.
Yeah, see, possession
possession
stat is everything. Possession stat is everything that I'm saying.
Will the US have more possession than against Switzerland?
The US will have less possession than against Switzerland.
You think the US will? Okay, interesting. I'll take the over. I'll take the over. And that's what I think is especially intriguing about this iteration of US Mexico, is that it should, in theory, break the mold. But this team has not gelled yet. So I could actually see this playing out in a reverse manner, where Mexico is the stronger team, the more cohesive unit, and they're able to, frustrate the US, and the US is able to have plenty of the ball, but just doesn't have the strength in the key moments to get past Mexico.
Right.
So
like savvy organized Mexico this time.
Savvy organized Mexico, gamesmanship, veteran play. They're kind of still they're in an interesting little transition, and I haven't followed like the politics around why this is the case, but they don't have Chicharito, they don't have Vela, they don't have Reyes, the center back. So there's a couple like familiar faces that they're missing right now. And they still have Guardado, they still have Hector Moreno. So they're sort of like two generations trying to blend somehow. Some of the younger guys that are coming up look pretty promising, but they haven't necessarily figured out what that balance is going to be. So, but you can see that coming into play because
reminds me of a certain 2016 US team I know
yes, exactly. Let's hope it ends like that too.
Yeah, baby.
But you know, the converse is like maybe the presence of someone like Andres Guardado would be really influential for them, and that they would be able to control the game better because he's able to, you know, see the patterns better, and that he would be able to outthink the US team with the substantial experience gap.
Right.
You know, so if I was Mexico, I think that might be the tack I would try to take, is like, don't try to be younger and faster because they're not younger and faster.
Yeah.
But try to win out on their experience, their savvy, their soccer IQ, which we know that pretty much any Mexico team has in spades.
So, and what for the hold on, where do I want to go with this? YouTube content, baby.
Exclusive,
exclusive, bruh. It's exclusive, this tape. Where do I want to go with this? Okay, so it's a different Mexico side than the one that we may be used to, and perhaps, just perhaps, I am a little shell-shocked, by previous U.S.-Mexico experiences, and maybe I'm being a little too cynical in my expectations for possession and such. But I don't know. I just am a little concerned. I'm worried about this situation.
I think you're right to be worried. I mean, I'm not worried in the sense that I expect to lose.
Do you expect to win? Let's get a prediction from you.
No. Sorry. I mean, I do expect to lose, which means I'm not worried because I don't fear losing. I expect to lose. So, you know, I mean, I just think that Greg hasn't shown that he can do anything different or special with this group, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, what has he brought? He came in with a lot of like interesting ideas, right?
Yeah.
There was the Tyler Adams thing. There was all these little, you know, tactical things that were going on. Like, how many times did we see that cutback thing from where the guy gets the byline and cuts the ball back? Like, that was almost not present in this game.
Yeah.
So the patterns that we saw and liked, you know, early on in the Greg EB tenure are gone. And in its place is weird substitutions and strange invisible midfields and weird selections again. You know, it's like he's watching a different Jackson Ewell than we are.
I can't with the Jackson Ewell, dude.
It was like the Will Trapp.
The dissolution of Will Trapp was so encouraging. It's like he stopped calling in Will Trapp.
Yes.
But just right on time.
Basically is still calling in Will Trapp.
He's got a new
different Will Trapp. Yeah.
Exactly. So sad. It's so sad. And just like I'm gonna go there. Just you guys, we were just on like the Asian American Podcast Festival. We're thinking about sharing that content with you guys. It was not an enormous production or any such thing like that. It was a solid group of podcasters getting together, supporting each other in the type of stuff that we do, and that, and in a few other situations in my life and teaching, you know, reintroducing some of my friends to like the sport of soccer. I'm finding myself often in an evangelist position of explaining like, this team is exciting. This team is like worth paying attention to. And when you get a couple of the guys together for a game versus Honduras in the Nations League,
you gotta check this team out.
You gotta check this team out.
Is dope.
And
it's never been like this.
It's never been like this. These are the words I'm saying. I'm like, that guy plays for Barcelona with Messi. And we're 60 minutes in, and my friends are like basically saying like, They couldn't tell a difference between the two.
Wait,
teams.
that guy on Honduras plays for Barcelona?
Right, exactly. They were like, which guy? And they
Exactly,
couldn't
yeah.
see a difference between these two.
I
teams.
couldn't see a difference either.
And
Serginho.
this is why my deep sadness at the moment for this team, because the evangelism is working. People are starting to pay attention. And the problem now is that this team might not actually be worth watching right now. I'm worried about that. I'm worried that
Dude,
we're getting
too.
the attention we've
I'm
been
worried too.
asking for,
Yeah.
and that this team is actually just not going to be that good, because there is no way that Greggy B gets fired from this. And we're going into qualies in September.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Tomorrow.
And a coach, you often think, what's changing the coach going to do? But then you look at Chelsea. I mean,
and
changing the coach can be everything.
Changing the coach can be everything. Tuchel, what's your price, bro? We got.
Anybody got his number?
What if we had Bayern money, Tuchel? What?
Yeah,
then?
exactly.
Even
if we could get Jesse Marsch, I don't want to take him away from his exploits.
Let Jesse Marsch do what he's doing.
All I'm looking for is just someone who just plays it straight down the middle. Guys, we're gonna get out there. We're gonna do normal soccer things, make some substitutions at normal times.
Let's get Sarachan back in.
When we're winning, we're gonna put on some defenders. And when we're losing,
this is the Barack Obama
we're gonna put
explanation.
on some attackers.
When we're losing, we're gonna put on some defenders, and that's gonna shore us up. It's this game comes down to what you do off the ball. Your off the ball movement is incredibly important.
Thanks, Barack.
Thank you, Barack. It's not hopeless, Barack. If we could,
he's available.
He's available. Let's get Barack in there. Might be kind of down. Steve Nash, is he still in the NBA?
Assistant coach Steve Nash.
Just keep Michael Bradley away from this team, folks. Anything else?
I want Coach Michael Bradley tomorrow.
We disagree so strongly on this.
We do disagree.
You think we get less Jackson Ewell from a Michael Bradley coach team?
Totally. I think Michael Bradley is rational and intelligent about everything except his own performances and ability. I think in that I will concede that he seems a little bit delusional. Yeah. But aside from that, I think if he was on the touchline, he would be like, yeah, 60th minute, let's, what? Game's not looking good. Let's make a change.
Yeah.
Universal sign.
We're gonna do the fingers. I'm doing the fingers.
It's going nuts with the fingers.
Folks, we hope that it goes well for us versus Mexico.
We do.
We hope that you'll tune in. And I really hope that if you've been supporting this pod, that it's not all in vain, that we are indeed going somewhere wonderful with all of this. I really do. And I believe that we are. I still believe that we are.
I believe as well.
I believe that we will win. Sort of. I don't actually think that.
I don't
think we're going to win.
I don't believe
it's not that we're going to win
on Sunday, but okay,
but
when's the game on Sunday? When's the game on Sunday?
I believe.
United States of America. That is Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. I presume that will also be on Paramount, which did a very good job with this game, I have to say. I enjoyed the commentary.
Yes, the commentary was good. The Deuce was fantastic.
Mo Adu is smart.
I'm good with Adu.
He holds back a little bit. I want him to get a little more feisty about when he sees weird shit like this going on.
No more.
Because again, with the evangelism, like at least can we all just be saying like, are we taking crazy pills? What is this? What are you doing?
What is this? Yeah, it is like, are we taking crazy pills? It is like every fan on Twitter. What does Adu's Twitter say about Josh Sargent right now? About Jackson Ewell? What is Maurice Adu saying about Jackson Ewell right now?
Yeah, like these guys, I think they see similar things, but they just hold back a little out of like a certain professionalism. You know what I mean?
A what now? I don't think I heard you. What did you say?
It's a quality we don't have. Don't try
I see.
to.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, kid. Don't worry about
it.
it.
So anyway, we'll see. We'll see on Sunday. I mean, I'm hype. I might be at
I'm
your
hyped.
house.
Yeah,
having
guys.
beers.
Yeah, come over to the spot. Guys, it's US Mexico. Get hyped for this. So all that being said, I'm concerned. I don't like what I'm seeing, and I don't see it getting better. However,
tune in Sunday.
Tune in Sunday. USA versus Mexico. It doesn't get lot better than that. And
Yeah.
I tell you what, USA versus Mexico, it doesn't get much better, and it can't get much worse than the experience you're about to have on Sunday. The things that you will feel, the passion,
The
that
feels
that
will enter your
occur.
body.
If you are a fan of this team, US Mexico is just, it's special every time. So I'm hyped for it, and I'm so glad that we caught that gotcha ass goal so that we could go to this final. It's a beautiful thing. Let's do this.
I am glad. I think it was a win-win today. If we lost, maybe we would have lost Greggy B. But we won. So I hope it comes together. I hope Greggy B sees the error of his ways. I hope there's some like behind closed doors, like, what the fuck, bro? You left us out to dry there. We were busting our ass in Mile High for 75 minutes. You had 5 subs, used 4. You kidding me? You have an 11 guy bench with like really good players on it. What are you doing?
Such good players on it, though.
Enough.
Players on the bench, though, they're so
Those
good.
guys, though. I mean,
do you see these guys? Do you see these guys? Okay.
Oh,
anyways,
Greggy
folks, I
Jersey.
love Jersey. I love me. DoorDash.
Oof,
I really like Seamless.
best.
Seamless, though. And I especially love Uber Eats for some reason. Nobody loves Uber Eats the most out of those 3.
That is weird. Yeah.
What's another? Is there another one? Another parcel meals service?
Grubhub.
Grubhub.
Shouts to Grubhub.
Okay. Fuck Uber Eats.
If
Uber Eats is off the likes.
Motherfuckers want to ship us a little money.
Yeah, dude, we're talking about
you
all of you. We'll whoever doesn't give us money is going off of the list of likes, and we'll edit this later. We're getting money from all you motherfuckers. Because I like all you guys, but I don't like any of you guys as much as I love the Nats. Let's go, boy.
Bye, people. Hey, thanks, YouTube. The show's over. Who we got on there? We got one person on there right now.
Nice.
Hello, person.
What's up, G?
Thank you for hanging out with us.
Thank you for kicking it.
Appreciate you.
We do. Join us again Sunday.
Join us again Sunday, baby.
Are we going to do game commentary on Sunday finally?
I'm down.
Dude, for US Mexico, just break it out. We should have done it. We should have done it today. That was a mistake.
Tune in next time, YouTube. I'm shutting you off. Goodbye.